am Alex Radical from Board Game Co., and this is Where Are They Now for January of 2026. This is where I take a look at the games that I played for the first time a year ago, as well as 5 years ago, and see how they've fared over time. But before we do that, thank you to AllPlay for being a channel sponsor. You can check out a whole bunch of things at allplay.com, but also check out their active crowdfunding campaign for Mountain Goat's Legacy, and more importantly, Enchanted Ivy, which I've been having a lot of fun with. But with that, let's go ahead and dive into the Look Back series. I love this series because it's a good opportunity to see not the cult of the now, but see how things really do fare over time. Do they hold up, or were they only a passing fad? Let's go ahead and dive into it. In both years, I'll be dividing this into 4 categories. The games that I didn't like, which doesn't necessarily mean that they're like bad, it just means like they just didn't work for me. Then the games that I liked, but didn't feel the need to keep, because that's the vast majority of games out there. They're good, but what enters my collection is a whole nother story. Then there are the games that I kept and then left. I do try to keep this category as little as possible because I do want things to stand the test of time. If I add something to my collection, ideally I want to see it there a year from now, at least a year from now. 5 years is a different story, because I want it to stand up over multiple plays. And then lastly, the category of games that I kept that are still here. I always love seeing which ones truly have held up over a year and 5 years. Let's start off with the category of games for January of 2025, the games that I did not like. This is going to be only 2 in this category. Generally, this category is pretty small. I think most games are pretty good. Some just don't work for me. There was Atoll. Atoll was a reef building game, which I don't know what it was about the game that didn't work for me. There's lots of games that are like this that worked for me. I just didn't find the whole way it came together to be particularly satisfying, unfortunately. And then there's Propolis from Flato Games. They have a bunch of these small box games and medium box games. Propolis was it Propolis? Propolis, whatever it was, the bee game and Hive and all that stuff. I didn't love it. It wasn't bad, it just felt like a worse version of other games that do similar things. Even their own Point City, I enjoyed significantly more. Splendor as well. Propolis felt a little fiddly within those games. In the category of games I liked but didn't feel the need to keep, there were Strange Forgeries of Dr. S.C. Schreiber. Loved the concept of this game. I thought the execution was pretty bad. I heard they were doing a second edition. I hope they did. It's one that I'd love to check out in the future. But the concept was great. Execution not so great. There was Aventuria. Aventuria was a card building dungeon crawler-esque, but it's more about the cards than anything else. Overall enjoyed it. There's lots of games that do this. There's Disney Animated. I liked that one. I will say I was kind of excited for Disney Animated, and the end result was a game that was just totally fine. It was fine. It was basic. I had fun. It was just very much the same game every time you played it. I wanted more from it. I wanted to like it more than I actually did. There was Finspan. Finspan is great. Arguably, possibly one of my favorite within the Span series. I think Wormspan does more as far as how strategic the game is. But I think Finspan is the most accessible overall, and I really enjoyed it. I just think that the Span series is one that, it's the kind of game that I would add to my collection, and then I just wouldn't end up playing it as much as I enjoy other tableau builders. Then there's Teotihuacan, a loved game. For me, it just was okay. I find when it comes to these heavyweight Euros or mid to heavyweight Euros, some of them blow me out of the water as far as how good they are, and others are good games. Teotihuacan was a good game. It's well loved by many. For me, it was just a good game. There was Hearts of Iron. This is a upcoming game. This is a preview I did, or not preview, it was a review of a prototype that I did. Hearts of Iron from Steamforged, based on the video game. I never played the video game. The board game was good. It felt like one of those game systems. It kind of reminded me a lot of a Game of Thrones, the board game. Definitely very different thematically. Lots of difference as far as the execution as well. But strategically speaking, I thought it was a very sound game in that genre. And there's Azul Duel, which to me, I really enjoyed Azul Duel. I have cooled on a little bit over time, but I never ended up adding to my collection anyway, because again, trying to juggle the amount of games I actually have, and Azul is a game that I find I usually end up playing on Board Game Arena. I don't need to have an in-person copy. Don't get me wrong, when I truly love a game, it doesn't matter where I'm playing it, I want it everywhere. But Azul Duel, it's a very good game. In the category of games that I kept and then left, there's only one, which is good. I like to keep this fair. I like to have this down to 0 for the games from a year ago. Again, 5 years is different, but Captain Flip. Captain Flip is very charming. Speaking of Board Game Arena, I played it on Board Game Arena for the first time, ended up getting it, played it a bunch of times, but it has become one of those games that it didn't enter my go-to fillers for my game group. And my kids, while they enjoy it, they don't ask to play it. And I find games like that eventually do leave. If no category of people are specifically intentionally trying to play it, then it might just become one of those games that I just play on Board Game Arena. I think it's fun, I think it's charming, I see why it got the love that it did, but it kind of fell into that space where it wasn't heavy enough for my game group, and my kids didn't vibe with it enough to become their favorite game. In the category of games I kept that are still here, there are a lot. Some of these are a bit more in the kids category, but they're games that I kept that are still here. There's Bamboo Rally Cup, a racing game from Haba that my kids really enjoyed. Much more fun than it has any right to be based on how it actually works, but it's still fun, so it is what it is. There was Point Galaxy. I mentioned Point City earlier, but Point Galaxy was in combination with Propolis and Point Galaxy. But Point Galaxy, my daughter really enjoyed. It has that set building system that's very fun and engaging, and overall had a lot of fun with it. There's Frostpunk, which kind of gets a disclaimer on this one. I don't know how to count this one. It's not that I played Frostpunk. I played half a game on TTS. I haven't really fully, truly played Frostpunk yet, but I still played it. I enjoyed it enough what I played that I wanted to keep it to dive into it more, but it's still kind of in that weird testing grounds. It's almost more of an unplayed game that I happened to play half a game. Count that as you will, but I liked it enough that I wanted to see more and just haven't done so yet. There was the Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game. Really enjoyed that one. It actually became one of my most played games of 2025. I still think I prefer the Crew, but I still like Fellowship of the Ring, and it's one that I have the new one, the Two Towers, as well. I don't know if it'll be a forever game. I think the Crew is going to be my forever game, but Fellowship and the Two Towers, I'm still enjoying enough that they're holding on to for now. There's Black Forest. I loved Black Forest. I had a chance to play this at Level Up Retreat last year in 2025. I've played it several times since then. It is such a good implementation of the Glass Road system. I almost ended up getting rid of Glass Road in favor of Black Forest, but I ended up keeping both. There's Lord of the Rings Duel. This is the Seven Wonders Duel variant with the Lord of the Rings theme. Love it. It's great. Again, it has cooled on me a little bit. At the time, my first year of it, I kind of liked it more than Seven Wonders Duel, but I think Seven Wonders Duel with the expansions has really elevated that experience for me. Base game to base game, I prefer Lord of the Rings Duel. Once you incorporate the expansions, Seven Wonders Duel is better for me. I do hope they expand Lord of the Rings Duel. I don't know if they will. Like, I know they have the little Allies pack, but I want like a real expansion for it, but I don't know if that will happen. If they do, that'd be great, because I think the expansions for Seven Wonders Duel add so much depth to the experience that you are having. Then there's Everdell Silverfrost. Again, don't know if this will be a forever game for me. There's too much Everdell at this point, and I'm starting to realize I can't and don't want to keep it all. There's too much. They put out a new system every single year at this point, and they're not different enough that I want to keep them. So while Everdell Silverfrost is currently here, I don't need the giant big box of Everdell plus 4 offshoots, so I think 3 offshoots. So I'm going to have to be picking and choosing which ones stay. I think Everdell Silverfrost probably will go. I just haven't found myself willing to make the decision as to which one leaves quite yet. There's Twinkle Twinkle. Twinkle Twinkle, small box game from Allplay of optimizing your points, optimizing your stars as you place them out into the galaxy. Enjoy that one a lot. Again, I don't know if it's a forever game. I think that I still want to continue to experience it and see the various expansions. Like, I've played through all the expansion modules, but I haven't done so enough in the combinations that they provide that I still think it has legs for right now. I do find that it's not my favorite of those point scoring optimization games, so I don't know if it'll be here in 5 years, but it's still here for right now. Then there's Casinopolis. This is from Buttonshy. It's a new game in their Sprawlopolis system. I don't know if I have a favorite, but I do enjoy Casinopolis as far as I think it's doing some things that are different, that are very fun, and they're small wallets, so I'm much more forgiving as far as keeping those under the category of my Sprawlopolis collection. And then lastly, there's Minos Dawn of the Bronze Age. This is from Board and Dice and Stan Kodonsky. I think it's a fantastic game that utilizes Stan Kodonsky's system that he has in Rurik and applies it to a Eurogame, and the combination I love. I love Rurik more, but I love that combination in a Eurogame system. Thoroughly recommend it. That is 2025, which brings us to 2021. 5 years ago, which is crazy to think that 2021 is 5 years ago, but it is what it is. The math is mathing. But in the category of games that I didn't like, we have 5 Finden. This is was it a Haba game? I don't remember who did 5 Finden. I just remember that. I think it was a Haba game, but I could be wrong. I didn't love it. I thought it was fine. There was Chai. Not Chai Tifa 2, but Chai, the original Chai. I played it. I thought it was way too basic. It just wasn't. There's a good category of games that are light enough for what they're trying to do. I think Chai is appealing if you want a light game and you're there for the theme. That's the only reason I'd really recommend it. There's Candy Wars, a game that was a prototype that never came to life. It was fine. It wasn't fine. It was in the category of games I didn't like. I didn't like it. I actively did not like it. It was a skirmish game that felt like a complete mess. It didn't end up funding, unfortunately, and or fortunately, depending how you look at it. And I don't know if it ever came back to life in any form, but Candy Wars was not for me. In the category of games that I liked, there's the Court of Miracles from Lucky Duck Games. I really wanted to enjoy this. I heard some really good things about it from various content creators at the time. But the Court of Miracles was good. I liked it. It was totally fine. It was a kind of sequencing system as far as how you place things out. but it was just fine. It was not amazing, it was fine. There was a Runelords, another campaign that never ended up funding. This is kind of a semi-skirmish game with a big board, a whole ambitious project, never ended up funding, so I don't think it actually exists right now. There was Ignite. Ignite was a skirmish-based deck building game, a tactical on a board skirmish deck builder. I overall enjoyed it. I wanted to like it a lot more. There were definitely some systems that held it back for me as far as the balance, the way the board is set up, the way you have to run out, but the overall concept of a deck building skirmish game, still love that, but I have found that the ones that exist have never wowed me completely. There's always been something wrong with it. Like, Ascension is good, but like, none of them have wowed me. They've all been fine. There's Clank Legacy, the first one. I enjoyed Clank Legacy. I didn't actually end up finishing it. I played like 5 games of it, but I enjoyed it. I just didn't love it. And for a Legacy game that's asking me to give it multiple plays, my group wasn't into it enough that none of us felt the need to finish it. There was the Night Market, which took like 5 years to deliver, but I believe it finally has delivered. I never actually got a copy of it, but I really enjoyed it when I played it. It was an interesting system as far as how you place your people and try to get all the resources you need based on sprawling out. It's been a long time. I don't remember much about it. I do remember enjoying it, and it never really entered my collection. Then there's Kitara. Kitara was, I want to say, from Yellow. This is a fun little interesting sequencing game as far as the cards you play. It was charming. It was fun. It was fine. In the category of games that kept and then left, there's a few over here, but again, 5 years later, this does happen a bit more. There's Mutants from Lucky Duck. I first came upon this game because One Stop Co-op Shop was highly praising it. I played it, I loved it, I thought it was very, very good. It stayed in my collection for several years. Eventually, it did get deprioritized because of other games that were getting played more, but Mutants was fantastic. There was Carnegie. Carnegie from... I always forget the name of the company. Quined. I think Quined Games. Carnegie is absolutely, or Carnegie. I think it's like the hard E or whatever, Carnegie. It's a fantastic game. An interesting selection system where every turn you choose what action is going to be selected and every player has to choose that action. There's only 20 turns, so having control over which actions and more importantly, setting yourself up so that you can benefit from each action that players choose or paying attention to what the players are doing and reading into what they're likely to choose. It's a big part of the game. Brilliant game system. I've often debated getting it back, but it's one of those things that it's a great Euro that other Euros were getting favored over, but a great game. And then there's Unicorn Fever, a reimplementation of Horse Fever, a very charming, funny gambling game. I think it's very fun. I think games like Ready, Set, Bet or Hot Streak are kind of the new Unicorn Fever of today. I think they do a better job of being that kind of feeling, but in a faster, easier, more accessible system. And then lastly, we have the category of games from 5 years ago that are still here. Games that I've kept since then. There's Cloaked Cats. I want to say it's a Haba game as well. Charming little game. A little bit of a kind of hidden deduction game. My kids still enjoy it. I still enjoy it. Cloaked Cats is a lot of fun. There's Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising. This is not the original Kingdom Rush. I had already played this by now. But Elemental Uprising, I first played 5 years ago. And it's still here. I have debated whether I keep them all or get rid of them. I just too many games in my collection. But I think Kingdom Rush is fantastic. And I really enjoy the tower defense mechanic of it. I have a lot of fun with it. There's Oathsworn. Played 5 years ago for the first time on TTS with the creators before it even delivered, but I really enjoyed it. It is still here to this day. It has survived campaign purge after campaign purge. It's just a good system that doesn't ask too much of the players as far as their game time and gives you a lot of engagement. It gives you so many characters, but you can actually play through it again with those characters because it's a short enough campaign to be able to utilize and learn from the various characters in the game. There's Coraquest, which I played for the first time. I keep saying play for the first time. Coraquest. Coraquest is still here. My daughter actually made a scenario for it. It's a charming dungeon crawl. It's very kid-friendly. Great game, very charming, and a lot of fun. There was Fleet the Dice Game, which has gone on to have many more games in that system, from Three Sisters, from Motor City DreamWorks, Motor City, whatever it is. But there's a bunch of games, and then there's also French Quarter now. There's a bunch of games that have followed up in the system, but Fleet the Dice Game was the one that started it from that trio of designers, or 2 designers, Ben Pinchback and Matt Riddle, I want to say. Maybe there's a third one, I can't remember. But they designed a bunch of these games that involve that roll and write chaining goodness, and Fleet the Dice Game was the one that started it all, and it's absolutely amazing. And then lastly, there's Primal. Primal is absolutely incredible. I love that game. Again, I've said this time and time again. My first play, I was like, it's fine. My second play, I was like, this is good. And my third play, I was hooked, and I have been hooked ever since then. And I've seen that play out with others, by the way. I've seen that happen with people who played it and were like, this is fine. I don't know why I love it so much. And then as they play it more, as you get into the card comboing, it becomes such a great game. Primal feels like a forever game for me. There's no such thing as a truly forever game for me, but it feels like a forever game. There's so much satisfaction to the way you are doing things in that game that I am hooked. I'm absolutely hooked on it. I love Primal. That is basically my look back for 5 years ago and a year ago of January 2025. I hope you found this video helpful in some way. And as always, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And I hope you have a good one.